Today my guest is Jeff Blankenburg, President, CEO, and major shareholder of Blankensoft Incorporated. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Let's talk about Windows Phone 7.
All right.
You've heard of this technology?
Vaguely. I've heard somebody in the news talking about it recently, but that's about it.
Okay. Is there? Can I see one?
Absolutely. So I have one here.
You have one there.
This is a Windows Phone, and you can see that not that they can see it on the camera, but
we'll bring the camera in a second here. Just sort of describe the technology, where it came from, and
sure. So
why it's important.
The basic idea behind Windows Phone is that we have a very, very interactive, user-friendly, data-centric platform for users on a phone, right? So if we look at the previous offerings that Microsoft's had, it's been very much about trying to replicate Windows as much as possible. Mm-hmm. This is completely divergent from that, and now it's just all about your data. How do we get your data in front of your face as quickly as possible so that you don't have to spend that minute and a half trying to find the thing you want?
Okay, I noticed there's no stylus. It's now all touchscreen.
It is. Your stylus is your finger now.
Yep.
And it's designed to be very touch-friendly. So you have a good variety of apps. You have things that integrate with your life, right? I mean, whether it's Gmail or Outlook or Hotmail or whatever it is, your email accounts are covered. It combines all your calendars into one place. It combines all your contacts from all of those different places in Facebook all into one place. So it's really trying to just centralize all of your data for you.
Okay, and you've got some apps and documents and so on this one right here?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at it.
I do, yeah.
Okay, so this is the start page, right?
This is the start screen, and so you can see that, first of all, it's very orange. I have the ability to change that. I'll show you that in a second. But you can see that I have my Hotmail icon. I have a Google Mail icon. If I scroll down here, you can see that I also have text messaging. I've moved this stuff around. With this phone, it's kind of a demo for me anyway right now. I don't get a lot of text messages, so I decided to move that down here to the bottom.
Is that what that one means? You have one unread message?
I do, and it's the default message I think you get with the phone. Oh no, somebody actually sent me a text message. Hello, who is this? I use this phone a lot for demos, and I'll hand it around the room. People will just send text messages to their friends, but their friends don't know who it is, so I get a lot of hello, who is this messages. But you can see that I actually have an AT&T SIM card in here, so I can actually open this up, and I've called voicemail a couple times, but if I wanted to call someone, I can just bring up a standard dial pad and make a quick phone call. I also have the ability to go into my address book and bring up all of my different friends. So if I wanted to, for example, if I wanted to jump in here and find a letter B, I can bring up the whole alphabet, go to D for David, and as I dive in here, I should have a David J. G.
Right, there's my picture.
And
now, how did that get in there? Did you type that in?
No, that's straight from Facebook. So
from Facebook, okay.
Because I have your Facebook profile here, and you can see up here at the top, I have you both on Windows Live and Facebook, but I don't actually have you as an Outlook contact, which is actually surprising. So I don't have your phone number in here. I can't give you a call. But if I wanted to, I could come in and choose Edit, and I could edit your Windows Live account. And in here, I could add your phone number. So I won't ask you to put that here on the video.
We'll do that off camera.
That would be very, very easy to do, right? The other cool thing is that you can see that I had both Windows Live and Facebook. So what we can see in here, we have this number 2 down here at the bottom. If I click on that, what it actually allows me to do is see that I have both of your accounts here. You must have the same image for both of them.
Not a coincidence.
But the phone automatically links them together because it realized you use the same email address in both. So because of that, it just treats you as one contact, even though I have both of these.
Okay.
So I can edit your Live or your Facebook account, and it's... Oh, actually, I can't edit your Facebook account. You edit your Facebook account. But I can edit some of the contact information that I have for you in certain places.
So basically, if you're connected to me at any social network at all, it should show up in this list of contacts.
Right now, I can show you the list of things that it's set up to handle. But as people build more apps and more integration, you'll see more of this. But down here, I have email and accounts. And if I click Add an Account, I have the ability to add Windows Live, any Outlook, Exchange, whatever, Yahoo Mail, Google Mail, and you may have also seen that I already have a Facebook account on the phone, so Facebook is integrated as well. But those are the things that are there predefined. If I had my own custom contact list or my own email server or something like that, I could also do other account or advanced setup if I had some other place that I wanted to go. So to say that all of my contacts from LinkedIn will show up right now wouldn't be a true statement, but that doesn't mean that can't come down the road.
I see. Let's look at some other apps. But first, I noticed there's some animation going up in the top right. What's going on there?
Yeah, so that's my People Hub. What it's actually doing is animating the people that have done things most recently. So we saw people a second ago, but if I come in here and flip over to what's new, what we'll actually see is you can see the dots flying across the top of the screen. It's updating. But what it's actually doing right now is jumping out and grabbing all the most recent Facebook statuses of all of my contacts. And so as you can see here, I have Michael Letterly. I can scroll up and down and find out what's going on with my friends right now without having to go into some weird app or doing something like that. I can come in and look at people. As another example, if I see Michael Letterly here, if I go to his specific page, you can see these are all of his Facebook statuses. And then I can also come over here and see his profile and see his phone numbers and things like that. So this allows me to very quickly see what's going on with my friends. And this animation you saw on the home screen, the icons that are actually showing up are the people that most recently updated on the phone.
I see.
So that's constantly evolving and changing. The same with the Xbox Live. You can see that once in a while my Xbox Live avatar pops in. That is actually my avatar. If I bring this up, you can see that I can jump in here and there is my avatar.
That doesn't look like you.
You may say, exactly, that doesn't look like me. It looks a lot like Harry Potter, Jeff. What's going on? It does look exactly like Harry Potter, and that's because I've been traveling a lot for work lately. My daughter is very into Harry Potter and found out that there were outfits on Xbox Live that you could customize and buy. Except she doesn't understand the concept of buy yet. So this outfit cost me about $850, and so now I'm gonna get the legs out of it that $850 is worth, right? So that's why he continues to look like Harry Potter. But you can see it brings in my actual Xbox Live gamer score, the most recent achievement I had. One of the other things I can show you here, since we have it on screen, is a bunch of games that I have available to me. One of which is this great game called Twin Blades. I'm gonna turn the phone sideways. And
do that again. Turn the phone sideways while it's.
Well, no, it only loads.
This only loads
in this
okay.
orientation.
All right.
But you can see that this is a zombie game, obviously, and Press Start Studios is the one that does this. They're out of France, I believe. And if I go ahead and start this game up, I believe I already have a saved game. But you're basically a nun fighting off zombies. And
another nun killing zombies
right.
game.
Just a standard genre, right? So what I'm going to do here is load up a quick level, but I just want to show you how robust a game can be on here. So this will just take a second. But it's absolutely remarkable, the graphics and the things that we can actually do on this device with the technology. So we're at 37%. Let's go.
Tell me a little bit while that's loading about these gestures, the way you're interacting with it.
Well, most of it's going to be touch swipe. So I'm going to swipe across or up and down to move through lists, things like that. But it supports all the standard gestures. If I was on a browser or something like that and I pinch to zoom, that kind of stuff works natively out of the box. I don't, as a developer, have to tell the browser to do anything. It just automatically happens. But there's all sorts of multi-touch inputs, and we can even create our own if we really want to. So I've got some zombies coming. I'm going to go ahead and shoot at them. And we need some volume if we're going to rock out against zombies, right? And once in a while you get the blood to actually splatter on the screen. It's pretty fun. But this little thumb pad over here is just like the thumb pad on an Xbox. You can see this thing here in the corner. If I move my thumb on it, I can actually run back and forth just by moving my stuff around, and I can fight all these zombies and move on and on. So it's a really interactive game, and I get to move pretty accurately. I mean, it works like I would expect it to. It reminds me of the old NES controller, where you just hit up, down, and left and right, but I don't have the physical feedback from it, but just by moving my thumb, I can slide back and forth. If I go up, I jump. So it becomes pretty easy to interact with pretty quickly. I was hoping for some more zombies, but I don't see any. But you can see this
we want to keep that PG-13 rating.
Right. So. This is a pretty graphically rich game, though, you can see.
All right, now, when you get the phone, does it ship with applications?
Yes and no. So if we bring up the list of applications, Bye Bye Brain, which you can see there on the list, I'll probably list a little closer. Bye Bye Brain is not something that is on there by default. It's another game that I have that I can that actually doesn't work right now. But alarms, all the orange ones that you'll see here are. So alarms, calculator, calendar, camera, games. Google Mail is just my Gmail, obviously. Hotmail is also there. Internet Explorer. These two are not there until you create an account. I have Maps, I have the Marketplace, I have the messaging app, music and video, Office, people, phone, pictures, and settings.
Are these applications available for free regardless of where you buy the phone?
Yes. These are all native. In fact, the way they've set it up with the carriers is the phone will be the phone. They are allowed to add things, and they get their own hub. So, for example, you can see that I have this calendar tab here. There may be an AT&T hub, right? And when you go in there, you'll get to see AT&T's app. But it's not going to be like you've seen with Windows Mobile in the past, where there's 19 other apps that you don't want and that you can't uninstall, or that are just trialware of some kind.
Oh, you said hub. What's a hub?
A hub is a kind of this experience. So like with people here, you can see I have this big text along the top, and I can interact with all this stuff that's going on. This is the people hub.
Okay.
The same was true of like Xbox Live, or I have one for, this is another hub, right? It's very similar styling. It becomes very familiar to the user quickly how this is supposed to work. Pictures is another one. I can dive through pictures and see pictures that have been taken on my phone. This is actually photos that have been uploaded to social networks that I participate in. So, for example, Facebook. But I can see pictures that have been uploaded recently by my friends as well. And it's in the Pictures Hub. That makes sense, right? If I'm looking for pictures, I would go to the Pictures Hub. And then we have the music and video one as well. And you can see this looks a lot like a Zune.
Okay.
But I can flip through here and see my music, see what's new, jump into videos. I think I have... These are recordings of the sessions that I just presented today. I was listening to those on the way up here, but I can have my podcast and radio and all that kind of stuff as well. We can jump into the marketplace and buy a song. So there's Darius Rucker. He's the featured artist of the day. But we can jump through this stuff, see new releases that are out there, top albums, all sorts of genres. We can dive through all this. But all of this stuff is a hub, and we can create our own hubs using a control called a panorama.
What's Panorama?
A panorama is this control, right? So I get the ability to set this background image. I get the ability to define what this text is at the top in each of these individual sections. And then all this is simple XAML that I define within each of these sections, but I can create multiple sections that kind of create this wraparound immersive panorama experience.
Okay, well, we'll talk about development in a few minutes here. Let's just wrap up the features of the phone.
Sure.
What else can you tell us?
Music and video marketplace. I mean, that's probably most of what I would show. I think the email is also kind of a cool experience. This is something called a pivot. Now, as a user, you probably won't hear those terms ever used, but this is the basic idea behind a pivot. You don't see that big text at the top anymore. Instead, it's really small, and I have some headers. And I'm basically dividing my content up into different ways. So this is all of my email from Gmail. These are my unread messages. These are messages that I may or may not have flagged. These are ones that are marked as urgent. So it's all the same data, but it's divided up into different categories, right?
Okay.
So that's one quick example. And then another cool thing that I like to show off is the calendar. So where you don't have a unified inbox, you saw I had a Google Mail, I had a Hotmail, I could have an Exchange. This is all one unified calendar. So in here, if I wanted to, it looks like I don't have that set up in here. Normally when I set up an email or a new calendar event, I have the ability to say which calendar I want it to be on. Do I want it to be on my Google Calendar or Hotmail or whatever? And so I can very easily add a new appointment, and that's usually another drop-down, but because I don't have enough accounts set up, I only think I have Facebook and Windows Live on here. Facebook doesn't have a calendar, so it's not giving me that option. But normally I would have the ability to see all of my calendar information in one place, be that on a day view, so I can just scroll through hours and days, or I can jump over to an agenda view and see individual appointments as I have them. So just the 9 o'clock and the 2 o'clock. That's all I have going on today. And then the rest of the time I can actually fill with the real work I'm trying to get done, right? So that's the calendar. As far as most of the other features, we've seen most of them. The only other one I might show would be the maps. And as you can see here, this is going to load up hopefully approximately where we are.
There's a GPS built into it.
Yep, GPS baked right in. And if I tell it to, that's not the button I wanted. I want this one. It's actually that was the last time I checked in. So it's actually going to zoom us right into the Weston where we are right now. If I pinch to zoom again, I can do this. And as I get close enough, it'll actually flip over and go from this street kind of model view to actually a top-down, there we go, visual view of exactly where we are. And so it's doing this usually via GPS, but because GPS isn't available in the building we're in right now, if you can't see the satellites, you don't get a signal. What we're actually using here is cell phone triangulation and a Wi-Fi signal, and slowly it's narrowing down exactly where it thinks we are. Another cool feature here is I can say I want to go to a specific location, right? So I could say I want to go to Ford Field. We'll say go, and it's going to put together turn-by-turn directions on how to get to Ford Field from here. You can see there's a car icon up here at the top. I didn't mean to do that. Let's do that again. But I also have this man walking, and if I choose that, it'll give me walking directions between the two places. So I come to Detroit, 3 or 4 times a year, but I don't know my way around that well, and I might not realize I'm right around the corner from the MGM Grand. This would tell me, hey, by the way, just walk 2 blocks and you're all set, right? So very, very nice kind of stuff. There's a couple hidden things in the phone that I didn't realize at first. One is, if you go to the search application, this is the Bing search, you can obviously hit the thing and search for something like pizza. And if I hit that, it's still going to try and use location-based information. So if I hit local, allow location awareness, I guess. Try again.
We're not big on pizza in this neighborhood.
I guess not. What it's actually going to do is search locally for pizza. And so this is going to bring up the pizza locations that are near us right now. Now what you'll see is this first one has an A next to it, and it says Fresco Wood Oven Pizzeria. That's actually, the letters are actually paid ads. And so the nearest pizza place is actually the number 1 here. And we can scroll through this list and see all the Pizza Popolis and those kinds of places. If I tap on the map, it'll actually bring the map up for me and put those icons on there so that I can interact with and find the one that I want. And the yellow dot is where I am right now. So that was one cool thing. Another one is that this little microphone up here in the text box, if I click this, Chinese food, it's actually using my voice to then go ahead and do a search. You can see it found Chinese food, and now it's bringing back a list of locally based Chinese places as well. So it works very, very well for search, and I thought this was the only place that voice activation was really baked in. But what I found out is if I hold down the start button, open calendar, open calendar,
starting calendar.
you can see that I can actually open applications without having to go navigate them. So
probably safer when I'm driving.
Right, absolutely. Or holding a Coke or whatever it may be. Right. Yeah. So without question, I think that's a nice feature that I can open applications, and not just the stuff that's native. You can see that I have a game down here at the bottom called Tapscotch. If I hold this down, Tapscotch.
Sorry, didn't catch that.
Open Tapscotch.
Starting Tapscotch.
Now, this is a term that the phone is not familiar with at all. This is an application that I built myself, and it's still able to pull it up. So I think that's a really powerful bit of search on your phone. I don't think it would work, but I can because I don't have your phone number, but I could also call a contact that way, right? Call David Giard.
Calling David Oberst.
So close. But my guess would be because you don't actually have your phone number in here, right? So that's the challenge there. But that's most of the experience. The other part is the browser, so we can see. This is a website, I guess, about an actress named Tony Jimenez. But we can zoom all the way into the text and pan around. You can see that the text still looks really good, even though we're zoomed way in. And that's a really nice feature of the browser. It has multiple tabs, so I can open multiple pages at once. But it's one of those phones that I really, really enjoy using. And every time I use it, I find something new, like searching anything on the phone.
Very cool. So right now it's middle of October. When is this phone, or when are all Windows Phone 7s?
You can go into an AT&T store on November 8th and buy a phone.
Okay. Only on AT&T it's available?
AT&T and T-Mobile will be the initial launch partners, and then
same date for T-Mobile?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that. It could be, but I don't want to say one way or the other. And I know that Sprint and Verizon will be on board come next year. So
Okay. Jeff, thanks so much.
Certainly.
Very cool phone. Very good talk.
Awesome. This technology lets me talk to my friends.